There, folks. Chris McLean, Peak Performance and Transformation Coach, back again with another episode of the Peak Performance and Predictable Growth Show, the peak performance show for creative agency founders, owners, and leaders, where we explore the agency journey from the unique perspective of those at the coalface of the industry. My guests help unlock and dissect strategies, tools, and tactics from the trenches that are working right now to help you deliver better results for your clients, as well as grow and scale your business to 6 and 7 figures and beyond. And today in the studio, my guest is Jonathan from Online Business Accelerator. They're an international marketing company that combines 25 years of digital marketing experience to help ambitious entrepreneurs and service providers grow and scale their business. Looking forward to this chat. Jonathan, welcome on the show. Great to have you here, mate.
Thanks for having me on, Chris. Pleasure and privilege to be here, brother.
Yeah, so I was just saying, I was just connecting with some of your Facebook content and some really interesting stuff going there that I think will be interesting to get through as we get into the show. But maybe take us back 25 years to give us the snapshot version of sort of what brought you into this. How did you start Online Business Accelerator, or sort of what brought you into the industry?
Yeah, well, my background's always been fully embodied with teaching, coaching. I started off as a secondary teacher in the UK, actually. And that was one of the reasons which made me leave the UK at the time, back in 2005.
Yeah, right.
And what was interesting was I knew I wanted to kind of do something a little bit more purposeful, impactful in the coaching, the teaching space, and went into personal training at the time when I first got here in New Zealand. And that was awesome. Had a blast for 4 or 5 years. And at the time, I was starting to get a little bit bored with just a one-to-one model. I was looking at setting up an online health directory, something that connects the public with practitioners, coaches, consultants, allows them to ask questions, read articles, and just really because there was very scant natural health information over here. So for the next 6, 7 years, really built that directory up. It's become to be one of New Zealand's most popular directories, which is awesome because, you know, we know that lots of people have been educated in the natural health space, and that's what it's all about first and foremost. But over that time, I was personally running multiple business workshops for health coaches, consultants, to help them present themselves better online and brand themselves, and obviously use, you know, certain marketing tactics in that industry to generate more leads and clients. So that evolved into just the actual mainstream business coaching space, and Online Business Accelerator was born a few years later. And really, we're not trying to be just another agency. We're doing things a little bit differently in that we're always looking at the most innovative way to help small businesses save time and, you know, give them the very latest types of tools, strategies, input into, you know, how to grow, leverage their business. Depending on the climate right now, it's been all about software for the past 2 years for us, because we just feel that right now there's an opportunity, you know, for SaaS, the SaaS world, and depending on whatever industry you're in, actually, but, you know, to leverage the SaaS software as a service opportunity in some capacity. For us, it's about helping coaches, consultants, and educators, authors, coaches, you name it. It's just about helping them save time, having more website building, landing page, course building tools in one place, because we've spent, say, a number 20 odd years, you know, drowning in software subscriptions ourselves, and, you know, often asking ourselves, there must be a better way to do this, and there must be better platforms, there must be better software and support, whatever. So we just thought, you know, darn it, we're going to do our own thing back in 2019. And it's been a good journey up to now. And so we've really gone from consultancy more to the sort of software space, but you know, lots of different challenges, but very interesting in a way.
So you've built out a custom course creation software. Is that what the software is and does, or is it sort of a full service marketing back end course creation platform?
Yeah, so we have both really. We've just recently, in the last 6 months, partnered with a company in the States that provide they have similar ethics and values as us as businesses, first and foremost, and they provide an open source type CRM system, which again is it's a modern day opportunity. For lead generation, and it's just a better way of doing your usual Salesforce, Infusionsoft, and those types of things. So we partner with them, so we can now provide the whole learning management system and the CRM as one. But a lot of our own clients, consultants, and coaches, they come to us more for the course building, the memberships, and the marketing tools as personal brands.
So really, anyone that has they've got an idea, they've got something they want to teach, something they want to train. Is it more, do you sort of B2C customer, or are you seeing like a bit of like business training, corporate training, even sort of internal training, that sort of thing, onboarding, this kind of stuff? Does the platform sort of enable that sort of thing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me personally, I'm on this journey at the moment, wanting to help businesses. And when I say on the journey, some I'm doing it pro bono, some it's paid, but helping small businesses switch from product, whether it's just B2C to membership type model, or if it's B2B in a service industry where they'd probably think, I can't have a subscription working here. I'll go scrap that. You can, and we've done it before, and I'll show you how to do it, and we'll work together. And so for me, it's interesting because I like helping businesses kind of, probably a bit like yourself, uncover you don't know what you don't know, and really see those light bulbs go on and those aha moments going, well, I'd have never thought I could do that type thing. So I'm enjoying really, B2B, B2C, H to H, human to human, as I like to call it these days. But I'm enjoying a bit of everything at the moment. I haven't got much time for coaching, but the bits pieces that I am doing, it's really centered around helping businesses leverage, with memberships.
Yeah, so I mean that's an interesting pivot point there. That sort of H, that human to human component. Obviously, in what you're doing, you're particularly sort of coming from that coaching aspect, but even as business owners, as agencies, as whether we say B2B, B2C, we're servicing customers, we're servicing people, right? We're people serving people. So how do you help people sort of make that connection when they say to you they come with a course? Do you sort of help them with sort of setting them up? Sort of how do you make sure that there is that personal, that human to human component, that human touch that we all like, being factored into software?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, software is probably one of the most inhuman kind of solutions on the planet, right? And some of the support teams of some of these high-flying software companies prove that as well. But I think, with the touch points, because you've made a really good point there, how do you do that with courses and, memberships, and how do you still have that human element? Well, the biggest kind of way to respond to that is just go, well, involve your audience, involve your client base, your customers, your prospects in the actual build of it. And that's what we always do. So when we're working with a client, we'll always go, well, when was the last time you reached out to this customer? Oh, 8 months ago. It's like, well, this is an opportunity to reach out and go, hey, we're looking at rebranding, we're looking at creating a new solution rather than membership, a solution for, past existing and future customers, and would love your feedback. Would love you to play an instrumental part in just helping us shape that. Get the information, get the validation as well at the same time that there is an actual need for that solution, because as experts we get too caught up in here, and we think as the experts that we know better when we know what our audience wants, and that's where we start to come undone a lot of the time. So involve them, make them a key part of your decision making. And once you've got that validation, once you've got 10 people or so, it doesn't have to be 10, could be 5 people, but, I always aim for 10 people paying to be part of this new business model. Not only have you got accountability and validation, but you've also got the motivation to actually go and do it. Because how many times do we think about, oh, I've got this great idea for a course, and then you hear yourself saying exactly the same thing 12 months later?
Yeah, there's a couple places we can easily get caught up in that process. So that you just mentioned, either either we run off as content creators and, as you say, experts, and we go and build the thing that we want to build just because this is what I know, so I'm going to go off and build a digital marketing course because I've just learned it and I think it's cool, and I spend months building out this amazing course, and then no one wants to buy it because, as you said, it hasn't been validated. And then on the other side, we don't build the course, or we do the same thing. We build the course before we've sold it. Whereas a lot of the advice, speaking to other course creators and people I've spoken to, often it's better to sell it first in a way and sort of take it to market and say, is this something that somebody wants to buy? And then as somebody buys it, kind of build the plane as you're flying it, sort of thing. As you get someone enrolled, now you've validated somebody actually wants this, and now you build it. You start to build it once you've enrolled people into the course or the program. Is that sort of how you tend to
exactly, brother? Yeah, build it and they will come. Because often it's build it and they won't. So this is the build it and they will come methodology.
Or don't build it and they will come.
Or don't build it and they will. Yeah, exactly. But talk about human touch points. That's a great way to empower your audience. Just reach out to them and get them involved with that, because people love having a say. They love having their opinion. They love being involved with your business. And it's a bit like asking for testimonials. People kind of like, oh, I don't really want to nag them and, ask a testimonial. I've done a great job for them, but I don't want to nag them and get their feedback now. And people love that stuff. They want to give you food. They want to gush over you. That's got to be factored into your marketing. But that's just another example of a touch point, because with those, with those first 10 I was just talking about, what can you do with those first 10? Well, they can be your 10 founding members of your membership. You make them feel special. You give them a discount. They put their money down. They're validated. Great. But you've also got then 10 potential brand advocates to bring in other people and go, like, this is great. You need to get onto this. They become an affiliate for you as well. And, potentially they become a coach for you, or they become, some maybe admin person, social admin, who knows? But, people want to be involved. They want to, and there's lots of pluses to really reaching out to people and just asking.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of that comes down to actually delivering something that's valuable as well, right? There's no point going out and building something that doesn't actually create a positive result on the back end. And that's maybe another stumbling block, another place people can get caught up with building what they want to build. Or even sometimes if it's validated, the market says, yes, we'd love that program, but you've kind of oversold it. and what you deliver doesn't quite deliver on the promise. You're probably not going to get the testimonials that you want. Is that an intrinsic part of sort of how you educate people around building that course and making sure that you're actually leading with value and then delivering that value through the course itself?
Yeah, you definitely want to undersell and over deliver in that first 3 to 6 months. So probably leave the private label, reseller content, because there's a lot of it out there. Don't go into the. Well, I did it myself when I first started out. I thought it was a good idea, and you learn bad, mistakes quickly. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely, you have to lead with value and go above and beyond what your customers expect. I think when you're talking about memberships, I think because I got myself roped into working in a telesales job for 3 weeks when one of my events went bust in my first year when I rolled out the wellness directory, the health directory. I made a big mistake of bringing other speakers to one of my events. The first 3 events, I believe it was, went extremely well. The 4th one absolutely flopped because I brought in all these different speakers and thought, oh, such value, for the audience, and we'll sell this amazing ultimate marketing package. And the reality is, I think there was one taken up because there's too many options, and it spoiled the party. And that was another big lesson. So I ended up in a telesales job for 3 weeks selling membership subscriptions, annual membership, hotel subscriptions to people on the phone. I thought, what is making them spend, $400 from a phone call? And I was actually quite good at it, because I'm, you marketers and business owners, if you're not good at selling, you might as well back up in a way. But, so I was on the phone. I was like, this is interesting. And this was probably back to 6 years ago. But what was making people do that was the hook. And the hook was a free night away. Where would you go? You'd start painting the picture. You start creating the emotion, and start getting them to think about that night away, who they'd take, etc. And that would get them to spend $400, $500 there and then after a 15, 20-minute call. Renewals were very easy, but new people you could sell to. And I thought, well, it's exactly the same in the business coaching consultancy. Well, what's your hook? What brings people in, to a membership initially? Well, it's going to be the quality of your content. Ideally, that wants to be an experiential type hook, just like the hotel membership. So, you want like a hot seat, or you want to have a kind of group call once a month or something where people can really connect with one another, and that's where you create that priceless perceived value, rather than people going, well, it's a $97 membership each month. Can I justify spending that for these content, for these templates and resources every month? If you've got the priceless perceived value, then it's much easier for people to go, well, I wouldn't have these relationships and these connections in any other type of, content-based membership or course. So, and that's what keeps people. It's the community side of things. But initially, it's the quality of the video content, ideally, and calls.
Yeah, that's interesting as well. Could you maybe talk us through that sort of that Ascension model? So you're getting someone into, say, a $97 course, but then now it's whatever course, high ticket course, low ticket course.
Yeah.
Then they've finished that 6 weeks, and now what? How do you what is it into a group model, that subscription service? What does that look like? Because I think that's quite interesting, rather than just getting somebody in and they're done in 6 weeks and they're out the door. How do you then send them up to that mastermind or that group, or as you're saying, that private hot seat kind of Q&A? How do you keep them engaged and keep them coming back and build that lifetime value?
Yeah, well, the Ascension model is absolutely paramount. And if you're selling a course, then it's probably one of the easiest type solutions to send people to like a higher level program, because I'm a big advocate of congruency in marketing and your business. So if you're providing a course, then, well, what's your high level going to be? It's going to be, it may then have the course, but then more of a kind of like a mastermind filter with your high level people profiles, or just a different type of network or whatever it is. But you want to kind of make those people feel like they've got more support at their fingertips. Potentially they can have things critiqued, they can get feedback on demand type of things, stuff like that, but not just from, the experts, from other people. And this is what all the sort of higher level, mastermind Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, whatever, they're doing all of that. It's just more hands-on, more intimate, more personable. But absolutely right. The lower ticket course is really, it needs to almost be sort of self-liquidated to a point, because you want to bring people in. You don't necessarily want to make money off the $97 course. You want to advertise for that $97 course, and you want to spend to bring people into that. And then your Ascension model, which is your program, it could be a higher level type membership, which membership mastermind, it's a fine line, but so you have to always be thinking with the end in mind. If you're going to run a course, if you're going to create a course, run a course, whatever, then you have to be thinking, okay, well, what's the end goal, and then work backwards, reverse engineer, because otherwise you're going to create another job for yourself. You're going to be resentful that you're putting all this work into a $97 a month subscription. So
interesting. I think having that long game and having what's the next thing for that customer. So if you genuinely have delivered value and somebody enjoys you and they like your stuff, they're going to want it that next level. I'm going to want that next thing. where that's the next phase of their business, the next phase of their career. And where for agencies, helping if they're looking at subscription models or courses or onboarding training for their clients, and what's next? How can we help our clients? Sort of what's that next level, and always providing that step up from what they've just gone through.
Yeah, and we're seeing it also in the software space as well, buddy. Like take ClickFunnels, for example, and we'll be doing it here at Course Commander as well. But, ClickFunnels, you think, what's a $297 a month piece of software there? Why would they have an Ascension model? Well, of course they do, because, the onus is on you building out the funnels and the software, using the software and doing the copywriting and, pretending you're the marketer. Most people aren't the marketer in their business. So, what happens when you get on a call with a funnel team that then offer to do it for you? So that's their Ascension model. And I talked about congruency. Well, it's two big C's there, congruency and consistency. So with the course side of things, it's the same thing, but you want to have a good mix of user engagement and automation with your course. That's where the right software is important. That's a massive consideration from the outset, because anyone that's inactive, you want them back in. That's the key thing. If they're inactive for too long, then they're going to burn. But if they've been inactive for, say, 2-3 weeks, then you want a automated email that pings them to say, hey, I noticed you haven't, completed module 3. Is there anything we can do to help you? Jump on a call here and we'll just have a chat about, where you're at in your business. And that's, of course, the Ascension side of things. That's bringing people back in, but it's also offering that, that kind of personal support.
Yeah, it's a nice combination. So if you can get that consistent outreach and that, as you're saying, that sort of that human touch of there is a human here that you can speak to that can actually understand where you're at and sort of help you take
if you're
that
not
next
doing
step.
it. Exactly, brother. And if you're not doing that, then someone else will be doing it as well. Some other competitor will be doing exactly that. So you're leaving money on the table just by having a course or a program without that.
Yeah, very true. So it's a super saturated world out there in terms of online programs and courses, and there's always going to be someone else teaching the same thing, essentially. Right. And so a lot of time people buy you and they buy your personality. So the more of you that they can get, the longer they're going to stick around.
Totally, man. That's what it comes down to. It's that human connection at the end, isn't it? So it comes full circle. Yeah, people buy into you and they stay for you. It's like, totally.
Yeah, so they want that contact. Yeah, really good stuff. I know you run a really cool Facebook group as well, the No Fluff Marketing. As I say, I was just happened to see a couple of posts popping up on my way through to the session today. So take us through that. What are you talking about over in the No Fluff group and sort of that side of things? I know we've got No Fluff Tactics up here as well. So I know you got a bunch of things going on. Take us through that group, because I know there's some really interesting value over there too.
Yeah, the noflufftactics.com is just a domain redirect to the group, but it really just sort of sells itself. It's No Fluff Marketing, where, the premise of that is the fact that it's for heart-centered, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, businesses that genuinely, want to make a difference. They want to serve and impact others. You can do that in a selfish and a selfless way, but for me, the intent is from here, not from here, and not trying to, sort of scam people and not trying to fluff people out of their credit card details. And there's a lot of that, as we both know, online right now. So I set that community up back in 2019, early 2019. It took me 5 months to launch it. But and then procrastination is beautiful thing. But the idea of that was I was just so fed up with it all, and just in a dark place with business and marketing at that point in time. I just thought, let's just do something where at least I can connect with people that are on similar wavelength to me and use it as a bit of therapy. So like yourself and a load of other businesses in there, and just a lot of genuine people that will selflessly help others, just first and foremost. And, that's what it is, a small business family.
And you're finding that there is a shift that way these days, but particularly over the last 12 months or so, people have asked themselves some pretty hard questions and come out the other side saying, what do I actually want to do with my life? What do I want as my career? And I think a lot of the time the answer goes towards some sort of contribution.
Yeah.
When you really genuinely get into what do I want to do, the being of service and being of contribution tends to be what comes out. Are you seeing that? Are you connecting? And part two of that question, does that still equate to a really profitable revenue generating business?
Yes, it does. And it doesn't always happen overnight, because sometimes you don't realize actually that you're building your audience on a conscious level, but you are. Sometimes like, well, I'm not getting the ROI that I'd expect doing this, but actually you are building that audience and you will get that ROI. Sometimes it's a bit of patience along the way. But yes, going back to what you're saying about, people more conscious about their purpose and their drive, what they're doing, why they're doing it, absolutely, more than ever. And to the point, I feel that people are actually quite nauseated by stuff like Facebook ads and big promises and pictures of jets and Lamborghinis. No one gives a shit. People just want heart-centered, well, I say heart-centered, but they want people that actually get them, and people that can intimately connect with them, their situation, and help them, genuinely help them where they are, because we're seeing this massive rise in micro influencers right now. And that's why, because, people are jamming with their own audiences, and live videos changed a lot of that, and memberships and communities will have a big say in that as well, as we're seeing.
Yeah, it's really interesting model. Like kind of much more diversified, but niche down. People finding their tribes and just really connecting with that tribe around who I am and what I represent, as much as what my service is and the challenges and problems I solve.
Yeah, I think it's that instability, isn't it? When there's like economic instability or just world instability, I think people really dig deep and do the hard. Well, I'd like to think most people would. If you don't, you're missing out on a massive opportunity not to do that, and that's, I feel quite saddened by, if you're not doing it, because this is a fantastic time of awakening for people. So if you're doing that hard work, shadow work and centering yourself and really kind of asking those hard questions, you will come out the other side absolutely for the better. And like you say, you'll create your tribe, which will be an extremely profitable business over time. But communities are the new personal brands. So that's the way to think of it.
Yeah, I think that's again, as we want businesses and we want to be profitable and we want to eat tomorrow. We want to have that financial component. I think that can always be, well, if I follow my passion or my purpose, or I go too much heart-centered or emotional, I'm not going to reap the rewards. So then people do get caught up into that authentic marketing, which is authenticity for a purpose of being authentic, which ends up not being very authentic.
Right. Don't be authentic for the sake of being authentic. No, absolutely no. Just do it because it's who you are. Do it because you want to connect with the right people and you want to attract the right type of clients, and you're going to be much more spiritually fulfilled doing that. And that's when business and personal aligns. That's what it should be anyway. We're on a journey and it includes business and personal together. So that's really important. But like you say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just go, okay, well, I'm going to be an authentic, heart-centered entrepreneur. I'm going to be over here and have no clients. And there's one thing with memberships as well. We never go to a business and go, right, you need to go from one-to-one to memberships. You need to pivot. That word pivot drives me crazy. I understood the merits of it, like when COVID first hit. I don't know. Like pivoting is like a recipe for disaster, really. So we always find a segment of their audience that would be willing to pay for a subscription-based type model first. Segment, not your entire audience. You need to keep those bills, paid. And you bring in the other people, your 10 that would pay, and you grow you expand your business with memberships, with subscriptions, not instead of your one-to-one. So that's a really valid point.
Yeah, I like that approach as well. You don't pivot does have an idea of you just going and doing something completely different rather than adding to what you're already doing and sort of creating something adjacent that supports what you're doing but also grows you in another direction. Important point to make there. Important clarification to have there.
We don't want to do a Michael Jackson in the business world and totally do something different. No.
Yeah, very fair point, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a really insightful conversation. If people do want to find out more about all of the different stuff that you're doing, whether that's Course Commander or join you over at No Fluff or the Online Business Accelerator, where's the best place for them to connect with you?
It would be definitely the Facebook group. Go to the No Fluff Tactics that you had up, or the facebook.com. That's my page, isn't it? But yeah, just the No Fluff Marketing group, noflufftactics.com. That's the easiest place. That's where I'm most active, and it's just a value add group that that people can be part of if they're at that place in their business. Where they want to reach out for support, or they want to add value, of course, to others, then it's a great group for that. Course Commander is, if you want to check out the software, that's over at coursecommander.com. We've gone through about 5 iterations in the last 12 months since we launched it. So at the moment, if you try and sign up for it, it's more actually a call than a subscription, but it's just really, which is a good thing because it's a kind of right fit type call. So, jump on a call and see what you're doing with your business, and give a bit of a demo of the software first and foremost before any decisions are made.
Awesome. Sounds fantastic. I might have to hit you up when I look to move course platforms. Sounds really cool.
Yeah, totally, brother. Look forward to it. Yeah. And thanks for today. Really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure, man. It's been a really interesting conversation, really insightful. We covered quite a bit of ground in 30 minutes. We sort of powered through, but a lot of really good insights for people out there on different ideas of how you could shift your business model, different ways you can take what's up here in your brain and drop it into something that's going to be valuable for your market on an ongoing basis.
Totally. There's a lot of people just sitting there right now with a lot of digital resources, gathering digital dust on their computers, to say, and they can potentially be valuable in some other type, format for your clients. So
yeah, love it. Thank you so much for dropping by, and thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been an excellent conversation today. I've really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Jonathan, thanks for dropping by. And we'll catch everyone on the next episode.